Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Summer is here, and if you're planning a Mediterranean getaway, then you want to look good, but also your partner or husband can look good. So we're going to get them to up their style game. We're going to go through some ideas to create stylish but comfortable outfits that will see your partner or husband through any occasion while you're on holiday, whether it's walking through the cobbled streets of ancient villages or it's sipping cocktails looking out to sea on board the deck of a boat. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and we're going to have a special guest which I'll explain to you in a minute. So I'm Claire Francis. On this channel we talk about all things shopping, style, fashion and travel for the midlife woman. So my aim today is to give you some help and assistance with the whole thing of packing, what to take on holiday, and suggest a few simple ways of styling up those outfits a little bit. And as I said, making your partner feel that they actually look a little bit stylish, but they can still feel comfortable. The last thing you want on a Mediterranean holiday is to feel uncomfortable with tight, restrictive clothing. So we're going to look at mostly the casual type of wardrobe that you might need. And hopefully that's going to assist you a little bit with packing and thinking about preparing for holidays. So today I'm going to introduce you to my partner.
Hello everyone.
So this is Mark, my partner. We're going to be looking at Mark's wardrobe today, and neither of us really like packing, do we?
No, not at all.
And we are going on a holiday soon. We both find it quite stressful. So last week I got out my rail and I put my clothing on there in different categories and decided what to take. So that's what we're going to be doing for your wardrobe, Mark.
Okay.
So we're going to get some things out of your wardrobe that you think you want to take.
Right.
And I think Mark's been buying a few new items the last couple of months. Is that right?
Only a few basics.
Yeah, to try and replace some of the things that are a little bit worn out from last year. So we've got a few new items, and we've got some items that Mark's had in his wardrobe a year or two. And I will try and link any of the new items for you. So Mark, what sort of thing do you want your holiday wardrobe to be like? What are you hoping to get from this?
I like it first of all to be easy wearing. More like a capsule type of wardrobe. I like to try and have a few basic colours that I don't have to think a great deal about what to wear each day. Obviously I want to try and be a bit more modern if I can, and
comfort as well.
Yeah, comfort, especially comfort. Claire's persuaded me to wear more cotton based clothing
and linen,
rather than my normal nylon based tops, which do unfortunately create a lot of perspiration and things like that. So
you want to be cool and comfortable, basically, don't you? Don't want to get overheated.
Well, cool or cool?
Well, yeah, both types of cool.
Yeah, I just want to be much cooler in those hot environments.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll bear that in mind, and so we'll get going on the wardrobe, and we'll be back to you soon. So I'm hoping that later on you're going to come and maybe try a few outfits on, just to help me show you some of the sort of styling tips we can use. So hopefully Mark will be back and I'll show you some photos of him trying on outfits later. But we'll get on and put the stuff on the rail now then and decide what you think you're going to take, okay? We'll be back with you in a minute. So I've let Mark go and have a rest after that. Now we're going to look at the rail. So we've got some things out to show you, and we may not take all these items, but this is showing you what the sort of choices we've got and the type of things that it's very useful for your partner or husband to have. So let's start with the swimwear sort of category. Obviously having a couple of pairs, sorry I'm running out of hangers, so I've actually got 2 pairs here of swimming trunks is a very useful, good idea. Maybe 2 pairs if you're going for a week, maybe more if you're going for longer. And then maybe just a plain, this is a navy t-shirt I've got here which will go with either of those bottoms. So that's something that will be easy to mix and match there. So I suggest, a coordinating t-shirt that can go over those swimming trunks, and try and keep the swimming trunks to a sort of similar colour palette, even if some are patterned to some are plain. Mark's got some plain navy ones as well. So that's the first section. Then looking at other casual wear. Now, something Mark has been very influenced by is the minimalist movement, and he's very much into the plain t-shirts now with jeans or trousers. So we're going to use quite a few plain white t-shirts. They're going to be useful. They're nice and cool, obviously, in the heat, but they're also useful for styling, which we'll look at later. Now, these have just come from Peacocks. Now, you would think that's quite a cheap brand, but we found these particular ones are actually quite nice quality. They actually iron well. They wash well and they iron well. So there, we've got a couple of those, and we've also got a black one or two we might take as well, which means that whatever shorts you're wearing or whatever other patterned items you're wearing, you've got something plain there to bring it together. So let's just have a look at, well, we'll have a look a little bit later actually at the outfits. Then looking at shirts, now as Mark said, we want cooler fabrics. We want the cotton and the linen and things like that. So just a selection of a few short, I can't say that, it's a bit of a tongue twister, short sleeved shirts. So I'll show you the ones Mark's got, and we'll be taking probably maybe 3 of those. So this one is from Next. It's actually a black linen one. Ladies, you may recognise this. It's one I actually got last week, but actually it fits Mark as well. We could both actually wear it. So this is really nice and cool. It's a linen mix from Next, and that's going to go with all the shorts and things and all the trousers. So nice buy there. Also, we've got this nice sort of khaki green one. Again, it's a linen sort of blend. Marks and Spencer's this one is, and it has the little pockets here as well. So it's got a couple of style details. It's got the detail here, which is a sort of slightly textured strip there, and then the pockets with the light coloured buttons. So this again will match with a lot of the bottoms that I'm going to be showing you, and are really nice and cool and comfortable. Now, Mark tends to vary from a medium to a large. It depends on the brands, it depends on the actual item. So you'll see a mixture here of mediums and larges. If you want something a little bit more patterned, this was from Marks and Spencer's last year, navy and cream pattern. They are doing one this year that's very similar. Again, it's a nice cool feeling cotton linen sort of mix. I think I'll have a look at the fabric in a minute and put that on the screen. They do a similar one this year. I'll link that for you. In fact, I'll try and show you that on the screen as well. So that is still obtainable. The next one as well is a new item from Next. So that will still be obtainable. So we've got a couple of quite sort of neutral shirts there that can mix and match. One that's a little bit more patterned, and we also have a striped one. I think this was from TK Maxx a couple of months ago. I don't think Mark's worn it yet. It's a little bit of a thicker fabric, but it's a nice summery look. The stripes, it's sort of beige, green, cream. So again, we're on a similar colour scheme. To be honest, I do find it easier with men's clothes. I mean, they don't have such a wide variety of colours, and therefore the mixing and matching is quite a lot easier. So we've done our swimwear, we've done our plain t-shirts, we've done our shirts, our cotton or linen shirts. And just to say, if your husband does like the sort of logo type t-shirts and things, that's fine. Try and get them towards the sort of cotton end rather than the football shirts, which will be very hot and sweaty, I think, in the Mediterranean this year. I think already it's up to 40 degrees in some places. So let's try and keep away from the synthetic fibres and go to the more cotton and linen type fibres. Lighter colours obviously as well would help, which is why the white t-shirts again are really useful. Then next we come to shorts. So 1 or 2 pairs of utility shorts. These were from the M&S these were from the Marks and Spencer's outlet, but they do very similar ones in store this year. And just a pair of utility shorts in something like a neutral colour. We've got those ones. We've also got a pair from, I think these were just Peacock shorts. But they're quite comfortable, slight stretch to them, so nice and comfortable on the waist there. Again, neutral colour. So you can see that would go with any of the shirts we've been looking at. And actually the green would go with most of the shirts we've been looking at as well. Then I've also got a pair of denim shorts here. A little bit heavier, but they are again a stretch denim. These were from TK Maxx, I think. But quite comfortable to wear. Again, would go with a lot of the shirts. You can see here how we can build up outfits that match very easily. So everything we've looked at so far does sort of mix and match fairly well. All these shorts would go with either the white, the navy or the black t-shirts. Most of them would actually go with the shirts as well. So quite easy then to just put them together. For example, you can see that this one would look really nice with these beige shorts. That would be a nice outfit. You can see that. That would look really nice and cool and comfortable. Alternatively, we could have something like maybe the green shirt with the green shorts, possibly. I would say this shirt is a little bit more elevated. Could get away with that sort of in the evenings a little bit more, possibly. Also got this nice pair of shorts. Now, the reason I like these, Mark found these in TK Maxx. You can see they're a sort of plaid. They're quite light and thin and airy and elasticated waist, so really comfortable, but they actually look quite smart. Now, you could dress them down a little bit just with, say, for example, the black t-shirt. That would look nice. But you could also dress them up a little bit with something like the black linen shirt and a white t-shirt in the middle. I'm going to show you that a little bit later on, Mark, hopefully. So we're looking at that sort of look. So lots and lots of outfits can be created here. I mean, actually, you probably have enough here for a 14-night holiday, not just a 7-night holiday. So you might need to pare it back quite a bit if you're just doing 7 nights. We'll come to that at the end. We'll talk about sort of essentials that you need. And then if you're going on any sort of holiday that's, you know, either quite a posh resort or on a cruise, you may well need to wear longer trousers. Again, you don't want them to be hot, but in the restaurants at night on cruises, you do have to wear long trousers. So we've got these cottony type trousers. They're not actually cargo trousers. They don't have any other pockets. They're just sort of chino type trousers. And sorry, I can't fit them on the hangers. Got a lighter pair there as well. So we've got 2 similar pairs there. I think they're both from Peacocks. Mark is actually finding that in the men's, he can pick up quite a few items that are reasonably priced, you know, good prices, but they are okay. They last a couple of years. They're not going to be very long lasting, but they'll probably see you through a couple of seasons. And you know, with the lighter colours, they do tend to get a bit stained and marked in that anyway. So sometimes you don't want to have something very expensive that you're then worried to wear. So that's quite useful. I mean, the M&S ones are nicer quality, but the Peacocks ones are good if you want some sort of value and you don't mind if they just last a couple of years. Then going on to light jackets, you need one light jacket at least. So something like, you know, some sort of hoodie. You might have seen I've got a very similar one, just a plain colour. Mark actually has a slightly thicker jacket as well. He may take if it looks like there could be any rain or whatever. I don't think there will be actually, but you never know. And then talking about evenings, now we've already come up with a few outfits with these shirts that you could very happily wear in an evening if it's, you know, sort of semi-formal or casual, with the shorts or the trousers and any of these shirts. We can make lots of outfits with that. And then we've also got another sort of slightly more elevated shirt. So this is a textured shirt. This was from TK Maxx a year or so ago, I think. That will look a little bit smarter if you put it with those trousers. And lastly, if you're on a holiday where in the evening the restaurant is a little bit elevated or you're on a cruise boat and you may have to wear a jacket, it's a really useful idea to have a linen jacket. This is one of Mark's. He's not that keen on this one, but he's had it for a year or two. It is useful to wear when you do need to just put a jacket on to go into the restaurant or something. It's fairly light. It's a sort of slightly textured fabric. This was from TK Maxx as well, actually. Quite a nice, it's by Steel and Jelly, British design. Got a nice lining, actually, this one. It's quite a nice quality, but you can find a slightly cheaper version of that, probably something a bit lighter, just linen, no lining. That's useful if you are on a cruise boat because sometimes the gentlemen do need to put on a jacket to go into the main dining rooms. I'm not going to talk about the very formal wear because for men that is a little bit easier. Now we're going on a cruise and Mark probably will be taking either a suit or he might take his tuxedo and, you know, white shirt and bow tie and things. So obviously gentlemen on the celebration nights do need to wear something smart, which is usually a black or a white tuxedo type jacket, or sometimes a suit jacket is okay. But again, you need to be cool and comfortable, so think about your fabrics. Cotton shirts and things probably better. But I won't go too much into that because I know if you're just going on a normal holiday, you won't have to think about that sort of level of wear. But a light linen or cotton jacket is very useful if you just want to elevate that for an evening look. And then you can always take it off later or whatever. It's just sometimes the rules about going into restaurants and things. So that's the basic items that we've got here. We probably need to pare it down a little bit. Probably don't need all of these items, but you can see how we're sort of building it up and how, although there's not one capsule wardrobe at the moment, because we are actually going for a couple of weeks, so we need a little bit more, I still think we could pare this down a little bit, maybe take away one of the pairs of shorts, possibly one of the shirts or whatever. So that's Mark's basic wardrobe. Now we're going to have a look at accessories. So first of all, Mark found these shoes. They're just plain white sort of trainer type shoes. They're actually leather. They're autographed from M&S. He actually managed to pick them up at the end of a sale. I think it was even like the end of the winter or spring. There was just one pair of these. I've seen that they've got them in store again now for this summer. He hasn't actually worn these yet, but these would be ideal. Now this is obviously going to go with everything. And Mark's also got a pair of these sort of canvasy type sort of deck shoes. I think these were from, actually I'm not sure where they're from, I have to ask him. Oh, I think they were TK Maxx actually. So a reasonable price he got those for. And then one other thing, he has got a pair of sliders. Again, these were from TK Maxx, these nautical ones. Now you can see this sort of greeny colour. That's going to go with a lot of the shorts and shirts that we've got in the wardrobe already. So all of those shoes will go with all of those outfits, really, depending on the level of formality. He has got some smart shoes that he'll take, obviously, with his tuxedo and things. But I'm not going to go into, say, the more formal wear at the moment. And then we've got the other accessories. As with women, I would advise taking probably 2 pairs of sunglasses, because if one gets lost, then you don't have to buy another pair abroad, which could be much more expensive. And also, as well as that, maybe a couple of sun hats. These are 2 of Mark's favourite ones. So we've got a navy one here, which will go nicely with his swimming shorts and t-shirts and things like that. Then we've got a black and a white one here, which might go better with some of the more green sort of outfits we've got. So a couple of sun hats there. Obviously other items you might need, things like swimming goggles and that type of thing for pool wear. If you can think of anything else, please let me know. So that's the basis of our wardrobe that we're going to be just honing down a little bit. So we'll go through that again at the end and just sort of list sort of numbers of items you might need for a 7-day holiday. And then I'm going to show you some outfits now that Mark's tried on for us, and I'm just going to talk through the sort of styling details. So you can see here Mark's got the black t-shirt with the check shorts, and we've put it here with the white trainers, and you can see the cap being black and white. The white there's picked up by the trainer colour, and it sort of just pulls the outfit together, so it looks quite smart. And then here we've got a white t-shirt underneath the black linen shirt, and you can see that the white t-shirt there is a slight V-neck. Mark prefers it to have a slight V, which is a bit more flattering than a crew neck, particularly if you've got a wider chest and shoulders like Mark has, so he quite likes that. Nice and cool and comfortable as well with the elasticated waist. Similar outfit here, this is almost like a co-ord now. We've got the khaki shorts and the khaki linen shirt with the white t-shirt underneath, and then the canvas sort of deck shoes there, a bit more relaxed. If your partner has a larger stomach, I would probably do up the bottom couple of buttons. Might not be ideal to have the whole thing open because the shirt will fall away and then you'll just see a big expanse of stomach. So, but the white sticking out at the top there will look nice. So the slightly more elevated look now, we've got the blazer here. You can see it's double-breasted, single-breasted would be absolutely fine. This is the one that Mark had. I think he'd slightly gone off it, but actually you can see now, putting it with the white t-shirt and just some fairly casual trousers and the white trainers, it actually looks really cool and comfortable and quite fresh and modern. And then Mark, I think, got into the swing of things and he's given us a few poses there, you can see. So you can see the sleeves are rolled up or pushed up, and it looks quite modern and fresh, I think, that look. I think he did like that by the end of the filming. So let's go on to the packing list. This is the sort of minimum you would need for a 7-night holiday. So we've got 2 pairs of swimming shorts, probably 2 or 3 white t-shirts, depending on how dirty they get. Black and navy t-shirts as well, maybe 1 or 2 of those. some cotton or linen short sleeve shirts, about 3 possibly of those, utility shorts or denim shorts, maybe 1 or 2 pairs, long trousers if necessary, if you need to wear something more formal in the evening, maybe 1 or 2 pairs, and then a hoodie or a light jacket. Also, if you need it, a linen or cotton blazer type jacket just to elevate the look for smarter evenings. Trainers, preferably white based trainers. Yes, you could have the sambas with the stripe, but predominantly white would be more useful for matching all your other outfits. Then we also need some casual deck shoes or, leather sandals, something like that that can be walked in if trainers are a bit too hot. Some sliders or flip-flops, 2 pairs of sunglasses, 2 sun hats or caps, and maybe a neutral belt. I think those things would be plenty. You may need a bit more for a 14-night holiday. Back here, both of us now. So how did you find that process, Mark? Does it help with your packing at all?
Normally, I would just leave it to the last moment, probably the day before, maybe the evening before we travel, and I would just rush around throwing underwear, socks, tops, shirts, anything that's dirty. I would probably pack it anyway and maybe wash it when we're on board ship. So it's a bit much easier since you had got me to put it out on the rails, and I even had time to try on some outfits just to make sure that it does fit. Yeah, as sometimes I've gone away and things actually don't. I've packed things, but they actually don't even fit. So it was good.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mark, for coming on the channel today. I'm sure we all appreciated it, ladies, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
see you again.
We'll see you again.
Yeah, you will. See you again.
All right. Thank you, Mark. And really hope you've enjoyed the video, hope you found it useful. Please let me know if you have any issues with dressing your husband or partner, or if they're very good at just dressing themselves. Mark is quite naturally stylish himself, so I don't have too many problems with him. I've just a couple of more modern touches, that's all I've sort of added, I suppose. But let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know how your partner's dressing, whether it's given you any good ideas. Again, let me know if you're going on holiday, where you're going, how that works out. But it'd be really nice to hear from you. By next week I'll be away. You probably will find there's going to be a break for me for about 2 weeks. I won't be doing any filming. Obviously I'll be filming while I'm away, but I won't be able to upload any videos then. When we're on the cruise boat, we tend to cut off. We don't have Wi-Fi, we don't have internet. We just try and have a complete break. But I will be back in a couple of weeks, so please bear with me. I'll see you a bit later in July. Hope you have a really good month yourselves as well. If you're going away, hope you really enjoy your holidays. And I look forward to seeing you later in July. Thank you and goodbye.